Hello YouTube friends, this is Max. I took a day off from work today. I'm trying to use up my vacation days, getting to the end of the year. So I had a chance to play with my favorite toys, motorcycles and guns. And I thought I'd share with you how my day went. So I was inspired by a BMW 1600 that I've been seeing on my ride home lately, as well as my friend Ron, who I've ridden with. He's got a BMW 1600 that he's fond of. Now I have no intention of selling or replacing my Harley. If anything, this would be an addition to the stable, something that I'd want as a variety, something different. So just as a quick recap of the bikes that I've had an old 2006 Vulcan 900 Kawasaki, a new 2012 Goldwing that I purchased, as well as the new 2015 Harley Road Glide, all cruisers. So this is going to be my first time on a BMW, really first time on any bike weighing less than 900 pounds. But I'm not new to motorcycling. In fact, I have 45,000 cruiser miles under my belt. Met my friend Ola for lunch today, and pointing this place out in my vlog because I like Macklin so much. I had a black bean veggie burger with the house salad. Healthy and delicious. I would say an 8 out of 10 out of all the veggie burgers I've ever had. Next on our agenda after lunch here is a trip to the Bullet Trap in Plano. And this is a premium gun range, certainly not the cheapest, kind of expensive at $19 for one lane of range. And unfortunately, I couldn't get you any video footage because of their range policy forbidding that. But guys, if you know of any facilities in Texas where you can do videoing of your range time, then please let me know, leave some comments, because I'd be interested in getting some footage and showing you my groupings. Here's my Kahr P380. So this is not an in-depth review, which I might do in a future video. There's a nice click that's coming out of the Kydex holster there. So I might do a review in the future when I have time, or if there's enough interest shown in your comments in this video. It's an attractive little piece, fun to shoot with, won't do a number on your wrist or palms like a larger caliber would. The main draw with this Kahr 380 is that it's extremely small, light form factor, supremely easy to conceal and carry 24/7. So the only problem is that it's questionable for actual self-defense carry because, and not that I have any qualms about the 380 caliber, I've actually taken steps to improve the reliability of this piece by having it worked on by the gunsmith, the manufacturer, but it's not reliable. When I hold it with just one hand, I get failures to eject, failures to feed. But when I'm holding it properly with two hands, it's very reliable and consistent. And I've got a few spare magazines here. I'm showing you the jacketed hollow point bullets that are used for self-defense carry, and I found that the MagTech is very reliable feeding as far as the jacketed hollow points. And I've got this really nice nifty speed loader that I'm holding here in my left hand, and it's easy to use at the range, and you can quickly reload your magazines and you can get some solid range time in and not be bothered just having to put individual bullets into your magazines. And then as for actual range ammo, I like to use these full metal jacket rounds that I'm showing you here, and I found that these bullets will actually feed reliably and you won't have any failures to feed or failure to return to battery. Some of those issues that I was having when I first got this gun before I had Kahr work on it when I sent it back to them. But these bullets will feed nice and reliably, and they're not expensive if bought online. Okay, after my range time, I decided to look for BMW dealers. I just did a quick Google search for dealers in Plano, Dallas, and I found these guys. So this isn't going to be a technical specs review of the bikes. There's plenty of material on the internet for that. You can check YouTube reviews and Google to find that info. But rather, these are my first impressions coming from a newly minted Harley guy. So for both bikes, the dealer set the ride suspension and other settings to normal. So not too sporty, not too heavy on comfort at the sacrifice of performance. My overall dealership review, guys, was negative as far as first impressions. Literally, the salesman gave me 5 to no more than 10 minutes to test drive each bike. He was firm and really quite serious about that. Kind of distrusting, left me riding off without the key, those kind of things. The front fascia on the 2015 R1200 GS love it or hate it. I actually like it. It's different and it's unique and it makes a bold, powerful statement. I saw a ton of these bikes when I was driving my Goldwing on my West Coast adventure back in 2013. I like this technical Transformers look of the front fascia. The 1200 here is in the ADV adventure category, and my first impressions are extremely positive. It's extraordinarily refined, far exceeded my expectations, given that it's not even intended to be a luxury tourer. It's shockingly comfortable, but not as nice as the Goldwing or the Harley in terms of seating. Alright, let's take her for a spin and see what it sounds like. Reviews, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the audio when it gets really too much wind noise. I don't think that I would enjoy a sport bike. I've never been on one, but that'll come in a future video. I value comfort over performance. The clutch on this bike is supremely satisfying, liquid, butter smooth, an absolute delight, really effortless, and the throttle is heavenly for the same reasons. There's such minimal driver input needed for a very satisfying ride. BMW really knocked this one out of the park. Such beautiful handling, very strong, satisfying front brake lever feel, as well as the overall brakes are a real joy. Very satisfying acceleration. It's got a shocking amount of torque and power. The bike itself is supremely light, easily flickable. I can't wait to rent this bike and hit the tail of the dragon in Tennessee. The dealer said that 75% of the buyers don't take these bikes off-road. Heck, I wouldn't either, but it's satisfying to know that that capability exists and has been tested. As for negatives, there's more effort to hop on. You've got to swing a leg high to get on and mount and dismount. And it's extremely quiet. You sound like the Jetsons beeping as you go by, or like a sewing machine, which is what the Goldwing sounded like. And you have to squish your knees in, so it's uncomfortable for any kind of extended all-day riding. So that part of it is unfortunate. Let's hear the engine some more here. The only other negative I would comment on is I'm 6'1", and any shorter, I would think that you'd have to hold the bike at the stoplight on your tippy toes, so I didn't like that. Although the seats are height adjustable, which is nice, and he's got me in sort of the middle of the road position for the seating, for the suspension, for all aspects that are customizable on the bike. He had it set right sort of in the middle so I can get a feel for it without being on any sort of extreme ends of the spectrum. But that's the one thing, is that if you are not a tall rider, then you may struggle a little bit to hold up the bike at stoplights. Check out this pickup truck here doing a rolling stop. So I'm just heading back into the dealership now. Really enjoyed the bike. I wish I'd had more than 10 minutes to be able to give it a good run around the neighborhood and see what it's like on the highway, what the pickup is like and those kind of things. But just even in these side roads, the bike had plenty of pickup. It was very satisfying, and it was a very short 10 minutes, but very much worth it. The dealer said that the sticker on this bike is just a hair under $20,000 US, which I think is a dream come true for 20 grand. This bike is absolutely worth every penny of that. After that disappointingly short test drive of the BMW R1200, here we're looking at the K1600 GT. This is the mothership. This is 7 grand more expensive, according to the dealer, than the R1200 that we just looked at. But BMW does have $1,000 off incentive going on right now, so now is a good time to get on one of these bikes if you're interested. Sewing machine, Jetsons. dealer also said that he would work with me on the MSRP if I wanted to buy the bike, as opposed to Harley, who was notoriously difficult to try to negotiate the sticker price. The initial impressions for me on this bike were actually somewhat negative, especially relative to the R1200. I felt like the ABS brake system was very touchy, and you can always feel it vibrating under your foot. But I would say the most disappointing aspect of this bike is the throttle was obnoxious. It's extremely touchy, and he had it in the normal mode, so it was not even set to like high performance or anything. It's like even in the normal mode, the very slightest touch of the throttle has the bike revving. Overall, the motorcycle was definitely refined and felt like a more luxurious version of its sibling, the R1200. So certainly the K1600 is a nice motorcycle, there's no doubt about it, but there are certain aspects of it that I was disappointed with relative to the higher expectations that I had of it, but I certainly can't say that it's worth $7,000 more than the R1200. The windshield and the instrumentation cluster certainly looked and felt more expensive, a little more visually appealing, I suppose, from a luxurious standpoint, and it had a nice look to the painted, expensive looking hard bags compared to the 1200. But the bike did feel more refined. The front brake lever was responsive but felt mushy compared to the 1200. The engine felt powerful, but it's not like the R1200 was underpowered. And I didn't like the kickstands on either bike. If I was to give overall ratings, I'd rate the Harley Road Glide a 9 out of 10, just to calibrate with you what I'm defining as awesome. Your opinion will vary. If 10 out of 10 is everything I could ever want in a motorcycle, the Road Glide, the biggest negative is the infotainment system and the stock audio system without expensive and extensive major upgrades. The R1200 I would say is a 9 out of 10. Yes, I thought that highly of it. The K1600 I'd say is a 7 out of 10. It's nice, but not as awesome as the R1200 was. If you get a chance, definitely check out both bikes. The Harley is like a couch, definitely no buyer's remorse there. I love it. The BMW R1200 is my top next bike choice. Something to add to the garage, hopefully next year. Please like and subscribe and leave comments, guys.